vows to sue Miguna after spat on TV. Now, a legal battle between two of Nairobi's foremost politicians who was yesterday brewing as governorship aspirants Esther Passaris and Miguna traded angry accusations on live television on Wednesday. Now, I need to put a caveat here that I'm not trying to throw stones while I live in a glass house. This is a TV station. We hold similar debates here, and I host various panelists every single day of the week from Monday to Friday, and what we saw could very easily happen on any other show. And as we head on to the elections, because we're only 9 months to the D-Day, of course debates get emotive, but what does it say for those of you who watched the debate, for those of you who've seen the videos that are doing rounds that did not get to go on air but are doing rounds from behind the scenes? What kind of leadership? And I know especially Bwana Kimosop, you're very passionate about ideals of a leader, governance, and all these things. Did you see any of that between the two aspirants? Did you see any of that?
I think I watched it myself, and I can say that when we really say that leaders should bring the best in us, I think that debate, when you looked at it, the red lines were crossed, because there were comments, for example, from that I cannot even repeat some of the things that were said. So I think the challenge is, it tells you very clearly that as we move ahead towards the next election, many things will be said. Actually, debates will be intense. And when I look at the competition in some of these offices, like the office of the governor, I actually get to say that our security sector needs to actually up their game, because leaders send the signal, as we've said in this, that the signal goes from the top. And if the signal, for example, is the one of abuse, the one of even violence to some extent, one of the things that happens is that it can be replicated on the ground, because politicians have passionate supporters. So for me, when I saw what happened and how the debate went, what I pointed out is that as we move towards preparing for the next election, more needs to be done, because that was it took the debates on engagement to a next level, and also to challenge the media to maybe consider coming up on how some of those debates can be conducted, because when people start, it's called what, when gloves are removed and everything becomes bare knuckles. Those
are the challenges of live TV.
But you see, Fred, let us be honest, we are just from the American election, where the president-elect was calling Hillary Clinton crooked Hillary, if you remember.
Then I will jail.
Sometimes we are going to lock her up. You go to online, analysis, be it on social media or comments on mainstream media. They are very, open. And by the way, that is the image I can tell you. If you look at the online, opinion polls that took Hillary to where it is. Let us agree that when you choose to seek elective public office, there is nothing more you can hide. You are not going to charge. You will be told the truth. And personally, let me at least commend, Miguna for the first debate. Because, when you're seeking public office, that requires some particular qualifications. And really, you don't even understand what those qualifications entail. The person who makes the public, get to know that you don't understand, the content of these qualifications you should have, is a good guy. In terms of the debate between Esther Passaris and Miguna, I want to tell Esther to be more thick-skinned. The law of defamation is very clear. It must be that what has been said is untrue, not vulgar abuse. Actually, vulgar abuse is never defamatory. So you may just end up exposing yourself more. But I agree with the idea that these leaders ought to debate, and Miguna should constantly, be there to tell us who they are. Save that, I want to say that when we engage as leaders, in as much as we want to expose, let us, have a way of clothing it. Let us not have, truth in a naked form. Truth in a naked form is very difficult to handle. Let us, get some range of decency. Do you agree with that enable us to know the person we may elect, while giving that person, you know, the personal space to
Let
me.
me ask Kaluma, where the I was socialized
Yes.
is that you actually do not even, when I want to engage and I point out issues on somebody who has a leadership responsibility, because leaders have been given public trust, you don't go public. Actually, one of the things I know I have noticed, when when politicians abuse each other, back in the village, I actually see people get shocked, because if you have an issue with a leader, you look for audience with them and you correct them elsewhere. But it looks like the system we have embraced is a system where I have anything that can get me ahead of Kaluma. For me, if I
bring
it ahead. We have chapter 6 dealing with ethics, leadership, integrity.
Yeah.
I mean, why is it there? In political leadership, in particular, Fred, if your mother is a night runner, you'll not be told in private, you'll be told in a public rally. If you stole, we are better off, because our democracy is very ancient. I mean, tell the public that the Kaluma standing before you is a thief. He's told that. It would be remiss if you said Kaluma is a thief, but you cannot substantiate.
But
then it becomes defamatory. And that is why we have those safeguards. But let us not say, you know, there were comments which were, you know, unwarranted and just indecent. Those ones we must condemn. But the idea that Miguna can't go and tell us you are a thief, then it is calling the electing public, the electors, to begin questioning integrity. And that is something we need to do, to elect leaders who are good leaders. So
you agree with how the debate went?
I agree with the content of the debate. I may not agree with how it went, how it was executed. I believe it went beyond the range of, you know, decency. But if it were just left at, you know, casting aspersions on the integrity of the potential governors, I really like it. And I want to encourage Jeff Koinange to have us Miguna, if possible. Let us have even the current governor with him, because he keeps saying that the current governor is doing some bad things. Let him sit with the guy and put evidence. You remember when there was the issue between, you know, one of them with Miguna. Miguna had even documents. That's what we need to know. And let us not restrict people exposing the abilities of a leader. Let us have Miguna debate Sonko. And I hope it happens very quickly. Let us have Miguna debate Peter Kenneth.
We will do it right here on Citizen TV. We don't have to wait for anyone else to do it. Right here, hopefully on the far breakfast.
But the other thing, I think it also tells us the advantages of having some of these institutions, the role, for example, the media plays in democracies, because they educate the members of the public. You actually put on the public spotlight, and the light is directed towards you, and more so when the light is directed, some of the light actually comes with heat. So if there was wax that you had within in your skin, it will start melting. So I think the advantage of it is, I think also the challenge I have is that how do we ensure that what you pointed out the other day, that we also dignify leadership and give it the place in the public square it deserves, because we have had situations whereby people who don't have thick skin, who actually could have the potential of taking our country to greater heights. Look, for example, at Martin Odwar of KCB, and the transformation he brought at KCA University, the bang itself. I don't know if some of those guys
they will never stand to be dragged through the mud.
Fred, you can't say that. You know, Fred, I agree with you, but you can't say that. If you have something to hide in terms of your integrity or otherwise, don't seek elective public office. Full stop. So Kimosop cannot tell us there are people who are good but they are thin-skinned to face you. I mean, if you are good, there will be nothing to expose about you. You should freely go there. We must know you to elect.
Kaluma, you actually are going back on your statement that if you're good and there is nothing to expose about you, then don't offer yourself.
Certainly, then there is nothing about you.
No, but the fact that
you're good, but there's nothing. You know, leadership is being able to inspire. Whether it is hope, as you say, or a direction.
The mere fact that you have nothing to be exposed.
Means you're not a leader. You're a follower.
Our time is up, and I'll give you an opportunity to give final comments before we end our news review. Going into the weekend.
Yes, I'm traveling straight to Homa Bay. We were to have Bunge Football Club and Bunge Netball, club playing the great people, the great teams of Homa Bay Town constituency last weekend. We failed due to our, procurement and budgetary difficulties.
I understand there's a cash crisis in Parliament.
We have a fundamental, cash crisis, contrary to what people think. So we are traveling with the entire team. This morning I'm going straight to the airport, and of course I'm welcoming all. you know, to be there. Number two, yeah, we are going to play today and of course on Sunday at Homa Bay, you know, Stadium. Today we are at Sero Polytechnic next to Rodi Kopany, my home area. So people will be there. It will be an entertaining match. Let people come and watch MPs like us also interact and play. But number two, let me, you know, commend the CS in charge of education, Fred Matiang'i, again. Let me request him so that we don't leave these things, you know, pending. Let us have a situation where we can harmonize, you know, staffing across our schools. There is an area in our education law, you know, university education law, which has not been implemented. But we had thought that, you know, we would have universities established in the nature of American universities, state universities, so that we have a provision, I think it is section 26 of the University Education Act, saying that each county, the national government will establish, you know, a university, a public university in each county, starting with the ones who do not have. What we did mean was that you could have something like Mount Kenya University in all counties, but we want something like Elgeyo Marakwet University, Homa Bay University, for those
University of Baringo
counties, University of Merino, that is Baringo. How we have them there, so that we have, you know, a university, a public university per county. We don't have, you know, students running from Homa Bay to Garissa and others. I think those are the challenging areas that the minister ought to deal with. But lastly, Fred, let me tell the people of Kenya that if you intend to participate in the next elections, the last mass voter registration will be in February. We passed a law saying that if you apply for ID, it will take you 30 days. So it means the last people who have a chance of participating in elections
should be applying now.
Must apply for ID and obtain it by latest January. So I want to request all Kenyans, wherever you are, go and apply now if you are eligible to vote. We had elections in the US the other day, and in as much as people are crying today, over 43% of eligible voters did not vote. They are now on the streets rioting. If you don't vote, you vote for the bad guy. And
that's very good advice to the over 500,000 KCSE candidates who are finishing their exams in the next few weeks. Of course, they're turning 18. Yes. They'll be eligible to vote. Go and get your ID. Finally, Bwana Vincent Kimoso.
Of course, once again, a big thank you for the invitation. We appreciate this. And I want to join Kaluma in commending the work of the Cabinet Secretary, Fred Matiang'i, and to wish him on, and also to really make it public that we need to celebrate people who are making a difference. The number two, I want to really take this opportunity to speak to something. On the 9th of December is the International Day of Anti-Corruption Day. And I think since we have been having an issue of corruption, we're discussing, it has featured in all our debates currently, I believe that it is good we take action. I want to appeal first to our faith-based institutions. If they can consider dedicating the Friday, that is the Muslims on Friday, the Adventists on Saturday, and the church services on a Sunday, the 4th, to actually speak, teach and rebuke people on this issue, just as on a moral platform, and also challenge the media that let us all work together towards educating Kenyans on the dangers of what corruption entails. So if we can all use that day and educate, train our people, then we can actually see us moving the debate from the headlines and a few individuals who are benefiting to also all as a country taking action towards eradicating this thing. There are countries that have fought corruption successfully. We can learn from them. Kenya has actually been on the international maps on different issues, including our athletes. Let's actually, even our success story on fighting corruption, give us international prominence.
Okay, thank you so much, Bwana Vincent Kimoso, policy analyst, and Peter Kaluma, MP, Homa Bay, helping us look at the headlines this Friday. Also, something else that you need to note, that today is World Vasectomy Day. At least 150 Kenyan men have signed up for vasectomy today as the country celebrates this day. So go out if at all that's your kind of thing. It should be noted that it is one of those methods of family planning that men can help their spouses with.
It is certainly not mine.
Well, Power Breakfast does continue. My name is Fred Indimule. From me and my panelists, it's good morning.